This is Inside Badger Football with head coach Trey Shucker. Financial support for Inside Badger Football is provided by Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, the accounting firm of Turner, Rogers, Manning, and Plyler, Welch Funeral Home, Austin Wingfield State Farm, Southern Bancorp, Chad Kesterson Shelter Insurance, Southwest Sporting Goods, Taylor King and Associates, Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts, Price and Company, Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker, Eccles, Thompson and Kneebone, Clark County Farm Bureau, Dairy Queen, Pediatrics Plus, South Central Connect, Java Primo, Southwest Auto Collection, MIDIAN Digital Creations, Andy's Restaurant of Arkadelphia, and Israel Word Law Farmers Insurance. The host of Inside Badger Football is Chase Hartzell.
And welcome back to this postseason edition of Inside Badger Football with Trey Shucker. I'm your host, Chase Hartzell, and as always, we're joined by Arkadelphia head coach Trey Shucker. Coach Shucker, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me today.
So another week in the books and another huge road victory in the postseason for Arkadelphia.
Yeah, it was. It was a really good victory overall. You know, it was a big game. Playing in the quarterfinals, you know, every offense is good, every defense is good, people play well, there's playmakers all over the place. And CrossFit was a really, really talented team, you know, and our defense really had a tall task this week, and they stood up to it and did a great job. You know, it's probably our best defensive performance of the season up to this point. And, you know, it was just a really big team effort by the defense, and, you know, offense went out and executed well, you know, and played with energy, executed the plays, and did a really good job. Had a really efficient night, and you know, just very, very proud of our team, our coaches for how they prepared and getting our players ready, and then going and executing the game plan.
And you talked about the defense. You know, a lot of the games that we've seen in the last few weeks, it's been more of the wing T variation that we've seen out of the offenses. So the defense with a little bit of a new challenge. You know, with the setup that CrossFit has, they like to use that spread offense a little bit more. And we know that CrossFit can score a lot of points. They went on the road against the Ozark Hillbillies and put up over 40 points there to pick up a victory and punch their ticket to the quarterfinals. But in this game, it really felt like they never got comfortable from the opening snap on offense.
Yeah, and you know, that was one thing that we wanted to do going into the game, was we wanted to start fast. And that was, you know, that's been a theme for a long time, and that's what we want to take pride in. But you know, especially in the playoffs, you can't just start the game timid. You got to start full bore and play with energy. You know, our sideline was really energized. You know, we had a really good crowd there as well. You know, we brought a really good fan base, and it just all tied in together for our performance of the night. And you know, it was just a great overall night for our team and program.
Yeah. And speaking fast, the defense starting with that 3 and out to start out the game, and then that sets up the offense. Obviously, the offense hasn't had too many snaps in the postseason playing teams that, you know, like to control the time of possession in those games. But it felt like the offense got a few more snaps, but they were playing a stingier defense in terms of CrossFit. But it really felt like those games where they had more limited opportunities helped them open up the playbook a little bit and convert on the opportunities that they did get against CrossFit and help capitalize on those opportunities.
No doubt. You know, our defense going out and getting that first 3 and out really set the tone for the rest of the game. And then our offense, once we got it, we were efficient and went down and scored that first drive. And then it was just on from there. And, you know, we did a really good job of just staying on the gas all night and not allowing, you know, small things here and there to really take away the momentum and take away, you know, what we're trying to do and get us out of rhythm. You know, that was the biggest thing, was we were consistent with the rhythm of the game, and just proud of everybody for it. It was awesome.
And on top of everything that went on this week with the quarterfinals, it's coming on Thanksgiving week. A lot of the players out of school throughout the week, and then also you deal with the challenges, the extra challenges of the holiday on Thursday. But it seems like the community was able to come together really and help to keep the team on track, and the team really stayed focused throughout the week.
Yes, you know, our kids did a great job of staying focused. You know, we we didn't have anybody missing practice throughout the week during Thanksgiving. We weren't in school for Thanksgiving week. The kids did a great job of getting to practice on time and staying focused. We had morning practices for most of the week. Our moms got together on Wednesday and provided a full Thanksgiving meal and desserts for our team after the Wednesday practice. And, that's just huge, just providing just that atmosphere of Thanksgiving. Not everybody gets a true Thanksgiving meal and true Thanksgiving environment on Thanksgiving, and it's just awesome to be able to have that support. And, our moms did a great job of, just showing us support, showing love to our players, and, just having that whole team and family atmosphere is awesome.
Yep. It was a strong showing from the community this week, and the team reciprocating that with a huge win. And we're going to take a look at some of the highlights right now. This was the quarterfinal game at Crossett. So we start off here with the opening kickoff, and Crossett gets the ball. Good job of swarming to the ball early, and it seemed like the defense was really on their heels from the start of this game.
Yeah, that opening kickoff, we knew that we needed to keep it away from a couple of their returners, and we found the guy that we wanted to kick it to, and did a great job of covering down. And the opening drive, defense started fast. Did a great job of getting to the football, being physical, and playing with energy and just playing together. Everybody understands their assignments and is executing their assignment really, really well early, and it really set the tone for the rest of the game.
And so already Arkadelphia with good field position to start out the drive after the short punt. And Ja'Shawn Davis starting off the game here with a nice carry. And we saw him a lot more in the passing game as well, something we've seen a lot as the season has gone along.
Yeah, he's so dynamic. You can use him in different ways. He's obviously done a great job of running the football, but he's so dynamic to where we can utilize him in the passing game as well, and you see it right here. Just finding him out of the backfield. He's got the best hands on the team, and he's one of those guys that you can use in a lot of different ways.
And then with Davis opening up some opportunities for Donovan Witten. Witten actually the leading rusher for the team in this game.
And then, Donovan did a great job running the football as well. We got an unbalanced formation, and Ja'Shawn did a great job of finishing the end zone. But, Donovan did a great job of running the football, something that he hasn't had to do all season. And, just by how Crossett's defense was playing us and reacting to our different schemes, just really provided him an opportunity to run, and he did a great job of filling that role.
And so Ja'Shawn Davis did have the score with the PAT from Spencer Allen, making it 7-0. But then on the following kickoff, Crossett returning a kick for a touchdown. So now it is 7-7. But Arkadelphia back with the football, and they're moving it once again.
Yeah, and that kickoff that was returned for a touchdown was probably one of the not so good plays of the night, but it didn't stop our team. We kept the rhythm of the offensive and defensive side of the games, and then once we got back to that opportunity, we did a good job of fixing what was causing that problem. We did a great job of fixing the issue and going and executing further.
And the Eagles did force a stop on 4th down, but Arkadelphia once again forcing the 3-and-out to start this game, and the offense gets back out on the field. And now we see Latonio Hughes, which Hughes has been playing great defense throughout the year. Haven't seen him as much in the passing game. He did have his snaps limited due to injury for part of the season, but he's really proven to be a factor in the air attack in the postseason.
He had his best game. Had over 160 yards in the air and on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Just really big night for Latonio Hughes. He was really feeling it Friday.
And we see Donovan Witten again with the direct snap. Saw that a few times as the defense started to key in on Davis, but here on the play action, Davis found his way open in the flats and was able to take it in for a huge touchdown to take back the lead.
Yeah, and that was on 4th down too. Good job by our guys getting the play call and going and executing and understanding the situation. 4th and goal is that's huge. It's you're scoring or the other team gets it. So the situation wasn't too big for our players. And then our defense goes right back out. And we did a really good job of not allowing their quarterback to really get out and get make plays with his legs. Our defensive line, Coach Grimmett and the rest of the defensive staff did a great job of the scheme of the week, and our players did a great job of executing it. And, that was the biggest thing, was we didn't want to let their quarterback out. And he's just so dangerous with his legs. He's done a great job all season with making plays with his legs, and we couldn't let him do that. And our defense did a great job.
And so the special teams unit partially blocking that punt and setting up the offense with good field position here. Another 3 and out for the defense, setting up the offense here and already setting up for another score here. A nice play there from Alex Loy.
Yeah, and that was another thing that was huge for the night, was those the field positions off of those punts. Our punt return group did a great job of putting pressure on the punter and not allowing him to really get a good kick into it, and it really gave us good field position to manage and go score.
And Ja'Shawn Davis there, so hard to stop down near the goal line. He picks up another score for Arkadelphia, and they are now up 21-7 in the second quarter.
And so you see them right there. They're trying to get their quarterback the ball. He's their best athlete. Everything offensively for them goes through him. And you see it right here. Latonio Hughes coming off the edge was a big play. Third down, third and short. Latonio able to come off the edge and use his speed and run him down. And, their quarterback is so athletic. You can't let him get out. Latonio shows his athleticism and runs him down for the sack on third and short, making it 4th and long and giving the offense the ball back.
That was not an easy play at all, as that was a quarterback who had over 2,000 yards passing over the course of the season to go along with over 1,000 yards rushing as well. So definitely a dual threat at the QB position for Crossett, but Arkadelphia back with the football. And again, the offense continuing to be efficient throughout this contest.
Yeah, and their quarterback was probably the most dynamic athlete that we've seen up to this point, just by his skill level, his arm capabilities, and just how fast he really was. And, we just did a really good job of trusting the scheme and then executing.
A good throw there from Donovan Witten, throwing across his body to find Latonio Hughes again there on the left side of the field. We see Davis set in motion on this play. And we saw that a few times, but this time Donovan Witten opened up some field there up the middle, and it allowed him to run in for the score himself.
Yeah,
huge play.
Yes, it was, and we got Ja'Shawn out, and anytime Ja'Shawn has to get outside of the formation, somebody's got to account for him, and they bumped out, and then Donovan was able to take it himself for the touchdown.
There you see another PAT from Spencer Allen. That was his 4th make of the game, and that makes it 28-7. Arkadelphia Crossett back with the football. And it's hard to believe it later in the second quarter here, but Crossett still does not have a first down from the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I know it. Our defense was just huge Friday night. Best performance of the season by our defense against a really good quality opponent. Crossett's done a great job all season. They put up a lot of points. They've had a lot of yards. And our defense just did a really good job of getting to the football, wrapping up, trusting their rushing lanes, and not allowing any big plays.
And that was the first down of the night for Crossett's offense. But again, Arkadelphia's defense fighting back, making them earn every yard after that.
Yeah, that was a huge tackle in open space by Marvion Berry. Marvion Berry, plays our outside linebacker spot, and he's so athletic. He's just one of those guys that he's able to tackle in space. You see him right here again, being able to get to the ball and not allow a big play.
And we saw some movement there, trying to move around the defense a little bit, and that forced some happy feet on the side of Crossett a few times throughout the game. That one huge, though, because it was on 4th and short and forced the Eagles to punt and got the Arkadelphia offense back on the field.
Yeah, and that, we just talked about, the punt coverage and punt block. Doing a really good job of putting pressure on the punter and giving us good field position, not allowing him to really get a leg into it. And then, we were backed up here, in a long situation. Donovan was able to get a big chunk of it with his legs. He was our leading rusher of the night, but really good job understanding the role and just in the situation of, hey, I can go get it myself with my legs and being able to do it. And
that time, Crossett with a good read from the snap. They forced the stop on 4th down, but Arkadelphia's defense back out on the field, and they did not look tired at all.
No, and see, the defense is playing so well right now. You know, it's one thing that we've talked about over the course of the season is we want to get better every day. We want to get better every week. And, you know, our whole team has done that. You know, it showed Friday really with our defense. You know, our defense had its best game of the season. And, you know, we're playing our best football right now, and that's what we want.
And it wasn't pictured here, but Latonio Hughes had a huge 3rd and long catch to keep the drive alive, and then right there, capping off the drive himself with a score on a 13-yard run on a little bit of a misdirection there.
Yeah.
Gave the ball to him, and he's in for 6. So Arkadelphia up 35-7 at this point.
Yeah, you know, that was a really good execution by that whole play. We did have a misdirection play in for Latonio, and you know, he just allow him to use his speed and get out in space. And great job by our defense right here with they had a missed snap, and with a really good athlete. You know, sometimes those plays can be dangerous, and those are plays where he can go make plays with his legs, and our defense did a great job of their rush lanes and not allowing any space. Really great job by our D-line right there, getting flat down the line, getting to the ball, and wrapping up, not allowing any big plays.
And Donovan Witten, a quarterback who is not going to shy away from contact. That time with the quarterback sneaking, it looked like he wanted to go for a little bit more, but they did call him down. Still, though, a first down for the Badgers to keep the chains moving.
Yeah, he's tough to bring down himself. You know, he's a little bit bigger. He's 215 to 220, and he's a tough guy to bring down. But you see him right there with a really big catch or throw right here. So Latonio Hughes, and you know, Latonio's just using his speed against the defender. You know, Latonio's probably one of the fastest guys on the field. He's the fastest guy on our team, and just use his speed out in open space, and Donovan did a great job of putting the ball in it where it needed to go.
And that time Hughes made a great cut there at the snap as well to get open. And he does a great job of creating space for himself to set up catches like those.
Yeah.
So now Arkadelphia's defense back on the field.
You see Marvion Berry again stringing out the play, not allowing you know, the receiver to get outside of him. And this was probably the biggest play of the night for their offense. That was, you know, a play over 20 yards. And, you know, that was one thing that we minimized Friday was those big plays, those plays over 20 yards. And that's how you keep the momentum and you don't allow points to get on the board.
And so following the quarterback keeper there from Jones, cross it with the score. It's 42-14. Arkadelphia now on the kick return.
Just a quick screen right there to Braylon Bailey. Braylon didn't get to hear a lot about Braylon Friday, but you know, he did a really good job on defense, and then on offense he did touch the ball a few times, and every time he touched it, you know, he was making plays just like he always has all season.
Similar to Hughes, he's got that great playmaking ability. And speaking of playmaking ability, how about this pass from Donovan Witten to Alex Loy?
Yeah, Loy was another one that you didn't hear a lot about Friday, but you know, when he was asked to do something, he's making a play as he is right here. You know, just getting by the defender. Really good ball. Made the catch at the back line of the end zone, and just a really well executed play overall.
So we have one more highlight here from the last drive. Cross it with a huge throw downfield, and how about the recovery there from Ollie Ware to get the crucial pick in the red zone?
This was huge. You know, it was great for Ollie to see him be able to track that ball and go up and get an interception and cover some ground, and you know, just big plays all the way around by the defense. You know, there's so many guys, you know, doing things within the scheme. You know, not trying to do anything outside of the scheme and do things, you know, selfishly. And not that they have been. You know, our defense is playing really well, but you can just tell that everybody on the defense is playing together and understanding their roles and their assignments and just trusting each other. And that's what that's the result you get. You know, we had a total of 13 yards rushing against our defense Friday, and you know, that's huge. You know, if you can do that every week, you're going to win a lot of games.
And there were a lot of positives to point out in this game. And we're going to focus on some of those in a minute when we award the Badger Players of the Week. But before we get into that, are there any more closing remarks you have on this game or other positives you want to point out from this contest?
It was just an overall team win. It gave us a lot of momentum. Crossett's a great program. They've won a lot of games. They've put up a lot of points. They've held teams to, not many points. And so it was a big game. It was a big game for us. Our kids did a great job of, preparing, even though it was Thanksgiving week and there's, other things going on. They did a great job of staying focused and understanding, this is our opportunity to go make something happen. And then, just the support of the community is just huge. Our kids feel it, our kids know it, and, it's just huge for us and our success and momentum going into semifinal week. And just proud of everybody overall.
And I don't think we've talked about it yet on this broadcast, but something to note too is that this was a rematch from the quarterfinals a few years ago where Arkadelphia lost a 1-point heartbreaker in the quarterfinals against the Eagles. And some of the older players on this team were around and probably remember that game from a few years ago. But was that a motivating factor to any of the players or anybody going into this game?
I don't know if it was. I tried to talk to them about, it's really not a rematch. It's Arkadelphia against Crossett, but they're two completely different teams. Yes, our seniors were on that team. Not a lot of them got in that game. I think there's probably more on the Crossett side that was, able to play in that game, but it's a completely different team. And Crossett's different, we're different, and so it's really not a true rematch. So we just wanted to view it as, hey, it's our season. We're going to go take it, and we're going to play well, and that's what we did.
Yep, it was a great game all around and a lot of standout performances this week, and we're going to focus on some of those right now. These were the Badgers of the week.
Offensive Player of the Week was Latonio Hughes. Had his biggest game. He had over 160 yards total. He had 7 receptions, and he had 1 rushing touchdown with 1 receiving touchdown as well. Just a big night by Latonio. Every time he touched the ball was a big play. Our Defense Player of the Week was Landon Hewen. Had 6 tackles, 3 tackles for loss and a sack. Leader of our defense. Our defense overall. This was a tough one to choose this week just because it was such a team or a group effort by the entire defense. Could have went to a lot of different people, but Landon had his best game overall for our defense. Spencer Allen was our Special Teams Player of the Week. Spencer Allen's playing really, really well right now. He's so good for our PATs, and we feel really good about him, in a lot of different situations to kick a field goal as well. We've just not had an opportunity to do that, but Spencer's playing so well. It's been so long since he's missed a PAT. And then our Badger Spirit Award winner this week is D'Angelo Buckley. D'Angelo, he's struggled with an injury in recent weeks, and then he was able to get out of that and suit up and be ready for practice immediately after he was cleared. We was ready to come back, and then jumped right into our scout groups. Our scout looks this week was a huge part of our success. Giving us a good look to prepare, and D'Angelo did a great job for that. And then just an overall team player. He's always trying to get better and push each other and push the teammates around him.
And congratulations to all this week's winners. And on that note, you talked about Buckley's perseverance and endurance throughout this season.
Yeah.
We're now getting into December football, which is a great place to be.
Absolutely.
At this point in the season. But is that an extra challenge, and is that something you talk about with your players getting into the season? You have 13 games under your belt at this point in the year. Is that something you kind of focus on going into hopefully these last 2 games that we have coming up?
Well, that's something that we really do talk about over the course of the season. And, if you think back to August, our whole mindset is we want to play in December. We want to make it to the Rock and play for a championship. And so that's kind of ingrained in our players' heads, before we even start the season. Like, this is going to be a 15-week season. And so they're prepared for that. And we've done a good job of, that's how we talk. It's a 15-week-long season. We prepare for that with how we, attack the weight room during the season, our in-season lifts, how we take care of our bodies. This time of the year, we're not in the weight room as much. We're doing some more body weight stuff to kind of prepare our bodies to stay loose, just to maintain what we have. And just be ready for Friday.
And Arkadelphia, one game away now, punching their ticket to the semifinals. And we're going to take a look at some of the other quarterfinal matchups to see who else punched their ticket to the semifinals. Here you see some of the final scores. Of course, starting out with that score we just broke down, Arkadelphia 49 and Cross at 21. But moving on, Arkadelphia's opponent for next week, Shiloh Christian, facing Rivercrest in a rematch of last year's state championship game. This time, Shiloh Christian, similar result, but this time with a huge victory, 41-7.
Yeah, that was a big win for them as well. Just going through that rematch of last year's state championship game. Shiloh was ready to play. Shiloh's had a great year, a great season. It's been a long time since they've been beaten by an Arkansas team.
And the next matchup that we had, it was the Warren Lumberjacks hosting the Rice Birds out of Stuttgart. And this was a game that in the booth we had our eyes on throughout the night. This one came right down to the wire. Warren pulling it out in the last minute of the game, 36-29, the final score in that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but what a game from what it sounds like. And, that's this time of year, that's what every game should be like. You just expect every game to be a dogfight and come down to that last minute of who's got the ball last. And, this was a rematch from earlier this season. And earlier this season, it didn't go that way. And, it wasn't as close, and you see Stuttgart progressed over the course of the season, and it was a really good game. They were leading going into that last few minutes of the game, and just a really good battle overall. That was an awesome game.
And we talk about the quality opponents in Arkadelphia's conference, the 7-4A. There is another 7-4A team still in the mix. They punched their ticket to the Final Four, and that is the Robinson Senators, the 7-4A conference champions, picking up the win over Lamar, 49-14.
Yeah, this was the only game of the week that you probably say is not a rematch of some sort, but Robinson just taking care of business like they've done all season long.
And now we're going to take a look at those final two matchups, those final four teams that are going to be in the semifinals for the 4A. And so we start out with Arkadelphia at Shiloh Christian that we're going to break down here in just a minute. But how about we talk about Joe T. Robinson at Warren? These are two programs with a lot of history in the 4A. Obviously, Joe T. Robinson, the same conference as Arkadelphia, but Warren, another program that Arkadelphia's faced a few times in the postseason and who has had a lot of success. They earned home field advantage in this game.
Yeah, and the four teams that are left in the playoffs are, four teams that have been to the championship over the past, probably at least 5 years. All four of these teams are common to talk about this time of year. And it just shows that all four of these programs have had consistent success. And, we just know that if you're going to win a championship, it's got to go through, Joe T., Warren, or Shiloh, from our standpoint. And those are the teams that you've got to beat. And this time of year, that's who's left.
And now we move on to the matchup that everybody's going to be talking about this week, and that's Shiloh against Arkadelphia. These are two teams that have had a lot of history and recent success in recent years. We have seen Arkadelphia make the trip up to Champions Stadium, which has proven to be one of the toughest atmospheres to play in 4A throughout the years. This is a team that does not lose very often at home, but Arkadelphia's gone up there before and done it before, this time going up against the defending state champions. What can we expect in this matchup?
Well, just like you said, it's going to be an awesome environment. They do a great job of providing an atmosphere just of the game and in general for their team. So it'll be an awesome atmosphere and environment, which it should be. It's a semifinal game this time of year. Every game should have an awesome atmosphere. So you're going to see a well-disciplined team. Shiloh's very disciplined in what they do. You won't see a lot of missed assignments. They tackle well. They run to the ball well defensively. They're playing really good football. Offensively, they get into some different formations and do a lot of different things. They've got a talented quarterback. He does things with his legs. He's also got a really good arm. They've got some receivers that are very talented as well. They're just very disciplined in what they do. They play so hard, and they might not be the fastest team that we've seen this year, but they make up for it in how hard they play. They're a tough football team.
Yep. And another long road trip for the Badgers this week. Had a couple these last few weeks, but now the trip up to Northwest Arkansas. But I'm sure that the Badger faithful is going to show up well as they have the last several weeks despite, the cold that we've seen in some of the games
Yeah.
that have been played, the distance from the school. But it seems like the Badger faithful has really showed up and showed out for the team in these last few weeks.
And we can only hope. And it is a long trip up there, but, our fans do a great job of showing up, doesn't matter where we're playing. And that's what we can hope and expect Friday night. That does play a factor in things, especially when you're on the road, especially that far away from home. And just having a full crowd with you and supporting you through the game is crucial when it comes to momentum and keeping momentum and just keeping our kids fired up in the game.
Yep. And Arkadelphia's road to the Rock continues this Friday night, hoping to punch their ticket to the state championship at War Memorial Stadium with a victory at Shiloh Christian on Friday night. Kickoff at Champion Stadium is set for 7 p.m. Of course, go out and support the Badgers if you can, but if you can't, you can catch the game right here on ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com. Well, thanks for joining us again, Coach, and good luck this week in the semifinals.
Hey, thank you. Go Badgers.
Go Badgers.